I'm live. Welcome to episode 156 of Cliff Notes Live. If you divide that by 52, you should come up with our third anniversary of this show. That's hard to believe. I sure didn't think I'd be doing this when I started off doing it so long ago. So welcome to all of y'all. I'll start it off as I do every show with a big old SKD 143. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love reality TV, especially Big Brother. But I love all kinds of reality TV. And I love you guys that come out here and spend so many Monday nights with me, either live or those who watch it on repeat a little bit later as well. I don't ever want to forget y'all guys either. Thank you. It just makes for a fun Monday night. And I am so sincerely appreciative of all the support that y'all provided for me over the years. And I hope it makes it a little bit more fun for all of us on a Monday night. All right, before we go any further with this grand experiment we're going to try tonight, we'll see if it works or not. But before we go any further, I do want to mention, if you have already done so, now that we're getting into the start of year number 4, please consider subscribing to my channel, turning on notifications, and the thumbs up down there. I don't know if it does anything, except it makes me feel a little warm and fuzzy every time I see one of those. So please consider subscribing to my channel. So as we go into the next year and do Big Brother, whatever else I cover, you'll always get the notifications when you do it. So I'll just throw that out at you. All right. We're going to try to do something a little different tonight. Before we do that, though, let me go out and just see who's out here so I can get prepared, right? So I can know what kind of questions I may need to be ready for or to throw out to y'all as well. All right, let's see. I posted a few out there. Mark Taylor. Mark, how are you doing? We'll talk about the challenge in a second. I see Amanda Lowe as well. Keith Franken. Howdy. Ma as well. Ma, I'm glad to see you out there. Abby Love. Marilyn, I think I said, but I'll say it again. Jake the Horror Movie Geek. Hey, Jake. Michelle Moore. Vicky Stone. Brian Hostutler. Patricia Miller. Terry Thomas. Yeah, Brian. Oh, well, I'll save it for a little bit later. I watch that Ohio State game. Terry Thomas, Taylor Mangus, Anuez 1919, Michelle, did I say your name? Michelle Moore again, if I didn't. Tammy Flanagan, Kendra. Hey, there was a Kendra on Survivor last week, huh? Blue-Eyed Girl, Wyatt Garrett, Abby Love, Barbara Schultz, Ken T, Tommy Braskett. I love seeing all these names I see every week out here. And I love seeing the new names as well. Monty King, Ann Noe, and Gail Martin. All right, we're going to call it right there. And now here's what I propose to do, guys, and we'll see how it works or not. Y'all know me. I can talk to a wall for hours on end. Got a loud mouth, as I showed while I was inside the Big Brother house. But I've talked for so many years, and I see your names up there. Some of y'all have gotten to know in phone calls, things like that, but not nearly enough of y'all. So I thought I'd try to open it up. StreamYard gives me the option to bring in other folks. So I'm going to try to do that this evening. And here's how I'm thinking I'm going to do it. There's an invite link that normally I can copy it, send it to an individual, then they log in, and I'm just going to post it on the comments and we'll see what happens, right? So I'm going to post it out there. There's a limit to how many people I can bring on at once. I may try to do one at a time, but it's all just a grand experiment. We'll see how it works. I don't know what's going to happen with feedback. I don't know any of it. We're just here to have fun. What's the worst that's going to happen? It won't work, and then we'll go back. We'll try it again next week or something. So with that being said, and we can talk as y'all come out here. And depending on how many people want to come out, we'll keep it long. We may do it short. We'll just see how we do it. Big Brother talk, reality TV talk, Thanksgiving, food you liked, food you didn't like. I can talk about a few of the pranks that I did over the weekend, because Lord knows I did one or two. Whatever y'all got in mind, please be respectful and kind and PG rated and all of that, right? Yeah, the family show. So I know y'all will. All right, with that being said, let me see how this invite works. Oh, this ought to be interesting. Okay. Copy. Oh, do I dare do it? Could I be opening up a Pandora's box of things? That's all right. That's what we're here for. All right, let's see. Paste. All right, guys, here we go. It's out there. I don't know if it's clickable or if you have to copy it and paste it or whatever. but we're gonna try it. I'm gonna see if some people start showing up. And as they do, I'll try to bring some of y'all on. In the meanwhile, we'll talk a little bit. So questions, things like that. Mark Taylor saying, "Are you following the challenge?" Any word on the Christmas show Reindeer Games, and how many weeks is it? All right, well, let's talk about all of those while we wait for this. All right, I see one or two people out there. All right, real quick, Mark, this is the first season of Reindeer of the challenge I haven't watched since like Dirty 30 or something. It's been a long time, and I've watched them all. Big Brother just kind of threw me for a loop. It started off so much later in time. I had to just catch my breath. I watched the last challenge, and it seems like this one just started a week or two afterwards. I just couldn't make it work. So I'm going to have to go back and watch it on replay and do that. Reindeer Games, I haven't heard that much more about it yet. I think it's 6 episodes, starts December 11th. It's going to be pre-filmed. There's no live anything. And I think it's 3 episodes, 6 episodes. I think that's spread out over 2 weeks, but I don't even know that for certain. Something along those lines. It's going to be quick. And my understanding is there's no evictions. The evictions are going to take place only based on how people do in the competitions, not actually how you won't be voting people out of the house. So it'll be a little different than regular Big Brother. And just call me Rudolph, because I was not invited to participate in any reindeer games. Yeah, no, maybe they'll call me tomorrow. But so far, I don't know anyone who's going to be on there. They're keeping very quiet. I would expect to get a little reveal here before too long. We'll find out. And then what else is going on? We'll talk about some other things in a second, because I see a few people out here. I got to start right off the bat with Ma, one of my moderators.
Let's go!
I am so happy to see you out there, and you are certainly dressed for the occasion. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm mostly great. I have a blister on my finger.
Is that too much keyboarding while you get ready for finals and all that?
No, I accidentally pour hot glue on my finger.
Well, that sounds I guess there's worse things you could do than a little hot glue, but I hate to hear that. But welcome. I have talked to you for so long, and we've never actually talked audio to audio, so to speak. So I'm so glad you're out here. Ma is one of my moderators. I didn't even ask you to do it. I just kind of put you out there and assumed the hope that you'd help me out, and you certainly have. And I feel like I kind of know you because of high school and now college and everything else. So thank you.
Yeah, I was first here when I was 15, and now I'm 18.
Wow, that's incredible. It doesn't seem like that long, but I started this. I actually started after I got out of the Big Brother. I was doing a recap for season 22, but I don't think I started this Monday night show. I did it with TV Co, an old show, and then came over to YouTube. And I feel like, yeah, you've been there since the very beginning, and you've chased away some of those folks. We don't get many of them nowadays, but chased away a few folks that wanted to sell things and say things and do things that we don't need out here, right?
Yeah, they're mostly bots. But there have been some people who have been rude.
Yeah, well, I expect that. One of the things you learn real quick being on Big Brother is you got to have thick skin, because everyone's got the people they love, everyone's got the people they hate. We saw it in this last season. Who are your favorites on this past episode or past season of Big Brother? Do you have any that you just absolutely were cheering for or cheering against?
I am not a Cameron fan. I'm gonna get like a lot of hate or a lot of love for saying that. He's like the most polarizing figure, but I did not like Cameron one bit.
I talked to him afterwards, and I gotta say, in terms of competition, in terms of making it exciting, he certainly did that. I thought it was funny the way he did when he was HOH. He would just stare people down and not say a word and make people feel so awkward.
That's why I didn't like him. He scared me. Like, I felt like I was being intimidated through a TV screen or a computer screen, technically. But
so do you think he could be on Reindeer Games? Who do you? Because they said like, Julie said someone's going on.
I feel like it's most likely going to be Cameron, probably. Who I want to see on Reindeer Games though is Heisem. I really want to see Heisem on Reindeer Games.
I don't feel like we saw enough of Heisem. He was out there. He did so well at the beginning. People, it was such a weird season of Big Brother. As soon as you did well, I felt like they booted you and moved on. So So we didn't get to see him too much. I think he could have kept things stirred up a little bit, but yeah, that's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah, unfortunate.
All right, I'm going to drag a couple more people. I think I can leave you out here still, Ma,
Okay.
and I'd love to do that if I can.
Oh, don't
Let me,
leave me.
yeah. Oh, hold on. Let's see how we can do this.
Who's
Zach,
that?
What's going on, Cliff?
doing all right. Zachary, I've met Zachary a few times over in Orlando. I'm not going to be able to do it this year since they canceled Hearts of Reality for whatever reason. So yeah, they're not going to be able to do it. But how are you doing, my friend? I follow some of your stories, you cover different sports and all of that.
Yeah, I was just in Youngstown State. I didn't realize they had a cannon on in the end zone, so that was a nice surprise. I wasn't ready for that, but I'll be in Orlando next weekend. Even though they're not doing Hearts of Reality, they're still doing events to benefit Give Kids the World Village, so I'll be there.
Oh, good. I'm going to miss it, but in fact, I'm going to miss it because instead I'm going up to New York to see Nicole get married first part of next year, which is going to be a lot of fun. I'm so excited for her. Do y'all have a cannon where y'all are at, Ma?
A cannon?
Yeah, the fire when you score touchdowns at the football games and all of that.
Oh yeah, in my high school we did. I not in college, but we did in high school, and it always scared me without fail.
We've got a big old howitzer because where I went to school, A&M, former military school and all that. So they got a big old cannon that'll certainly surprise you if you aren't paying attention. But they keep people away from the front of it. So the football games are always so much fun. We finally finished up the season of that, just about. So yeah. So what sport are you covering now? Were you covering football then, Zach?
It was football over the weekend, and it's back to basketball on Wednesday. So back to the grindstone. This is my busy time of year with sports journalism. So looking forward to that.
Well, congratulations to you. You're always fun to watch on Instagram, see what your latest and greatest stories are. You've got some background, and I won't go into a lot of detail. I didn't realize some of the stuff that you were involved with your family and everything else up in New York. But yeah, you're always interesting to follow along, Zach. So I appreciate every story I see from you, my friend.
I am not Jonathan Goldsmith, but if I'm the most interesting man in the world, then I'll take it.
Hey, we're all doing our part to make the world a little bit more interesting, aren't we? All right, I'm going to try to add in one more, and let's see how many we can do with this. We can make it work. I can barely see you, Wyatt. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Cliff?
I'm just hanging out. It's Monday. I'm here. I survived a whole bunch of gobble turkey eating over the weekend, and enjoyed every bit of it. Now you're up. Are you in Fort Worth or you're in the area?
I am actually in Weatherford. Well, Springtown, Texas, Weatherford.
Okay. Yeah, I used to work west of there over in Breckenridge, so I'd drive through Weatherford all the time when I was working that way. Now you've been watching Cliff Notes for a while as well, haven't you?
Yes, sir. I have.
You're always good for those. Most of y'all already know why. I can always count on you to know who the performers are in town in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, country western, folks that I don't even think of until you're sitting there getting pictures made with them. And it's like, oh my gosh, I haven't thought about that person in a while. Or, oh, that's an up and coming star, and you're already there hobnobbing with them and everything else.
Yeah. So I've never been on an airplane, but
Me neither.
Really?
Monday, December 11th, my dad and I are flying out to Las Vegas. Part of my birthday and Christmas, I'm flying out to go see Rodney Atkins.
Wow. Well, that sounds like fun. How old are you turning? Why?
I'll be 25 on Monday, December 18th.
Well, congratulations, my friend. Watch out for Vegas, man. They'll take your money quicker than anyone else.
They will. I know that.
Well, that's cool. We watched the Formula One, the car race that was in Vegas, I guess last weekend they had it. And Sharon and I used to go to Las Vegas all the time. And then we had kids and, you know how things work. We traded in Vegas for Disney World and all that. I need to go back. I want to get some stories from you because it's changed so much. So enjoy your first plane flight and enjoy Vegas as well. That's a crazy place. So Ma, you've never been on a plane either?
Nope.
So I guess college is where is home for you in general area?
80 miles up north.
Oh, okay, so you don't have that. That's about the right distance.
Yeah. I actually just came back from Thanksgiving break today.
Wow. And now, are you through at school, or you still have a little more school finals this semester?
This is the last week of classes, and then I have one more final project to do. I'm not taking any gen eds this semester, so I don't have a typical final exam. I just have projects.
Good. Well, you're gonna be done, and then you just get to relax and enjoy a month or so before you start back up.
Oh, yeah.
Well, joy! I'm so envious of you. I remember when I used to. It's such a great feeling when you finish up classes and it's like, all right, now it's on to something brand new and different in the new semester and everything else. So now we need to get you on an airplane as well, and you can see what it's all about.
Fun.
Yeah, I can tell the excitement in your eyes. All right, real quick, I had a question from Misfire saying, "Are you watching the Squid Games? The Squid Games game show, reality show? How about y'all three? Are y'all watching them? I think it's on Netflix, isn't it?"
No, but I keep getting notifications from. I'm in a Discord server, and all they can talk about is just the challenge Squid Games.
The challenges themselves, or just the show, the overall?
Both.
Okay.
The guy who hosts the server is like a huge challenge fan. So,
okay.
Okay.
How about you, Zach? Have you watched Squid Games, or are you going to watch it?
I have to watch it back because I know that Figgy, who was on Survivor that we've seen at Hearts, was actually on earlier. But I think there was some controversy going on with the show. I guess there were some contestants that were upset with conditions or something that went down. I don't know if I know the full story, but either way, just to support Figgy, I absolutely want to watch it. Figgy's always the life of the party at Hearts of Reality, and obviously was a past contestant on Survivor, so have to support our fellow Give Kids the World supporter. So of course I'll watch for Figgy.
Absolutely. I was so excited to see her out there because I didn't know they'd have anyone that we knew. I thought it maybe was going to be all brand new folks, which I kind of like seeing all newbies, but for a show like that, I'm fine with it. Yeah, I'm excited to see how she does. But I'd heard the same thing, Zach, and that was a while back. I heard that someone got hurt or something. I didn't know they actually would continue the show. I thought maybe it stopped because I was hearing all kinds of rumors about how horrible it was. So yeah, we'll see. If I was on the show, they could give me number 143, and I would be such a happy camper. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I need to. I've been trying to avoid spoilers and everything else, but I love the TV series. If it's anything like the actual series, a great show to watch. Maybe not the one I'd want to actually participate on, but we'll see. What about you, Wyatt? Do you watch a lot of reality TV beyond Big Brother or Survivor?
I haven't checked out the Squid Games, but I'll definitely check it out. I do watch Big Brother and Survivor, and I watched the challenge on CBS.
Yeah, there's so many. Once I get through with work, get a little downtime, I need to start binging some of these shows because I'm getting behind on the game a little bit. All right, real quick, another question. Patricia Miller saying, heard that Cameron and Red are going on The Amazing Race. I could see that. Ma, I know you don't want to hear that, but we'll see how. I could see the two of them. You know, they were kind of buddies, and I'm still amazed that they didn't compare notes more before they just got upset with each other and went out the door the way they did. Trust me, while I was in the house, if someone came up and had told me, said, "Hey, Nicole's plotting against you," I think I maybe would have gone and talked to her a little bit before I just immediately assumed that the relationship was shot and all of that. But it's such a crazy thing. You don't trust anyone while you're in that house. So it is what it is. All right, I'm gonna bring someone else in and see if we can do this. Terry, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you, Mr. Cliff?
I'm doing very well. I didn't mean to make you just sit there the whole time, but
No, that's fine. I appreciate it. Take all the time you need, sir.
So what is Big Brother your big show, or are you an equal viewer of a whole bunch of different ones?
To be honest, I like Survivor, Big Brother, and The Challenge, but and a few others. But the only thing was in my senior year, my dad could no longer afford the shows for Verizon, so he unfortunately had to drop them. So that really broke my heart. So all I can watch on is just basically just YouTube. But
Okay.
the last time I watched channels was actually when I moved to Georgia back September last year. I stopped at a motel and I only had like Direct TV and so I watched like Survivor basically on that. I'm sorry, not Survivor. I watched Big Brother, excuse me, and then the Challenge season finale for the USA season 1. But that was the last time. Then ever since then, for over a year later, I'm usually just sticking to YouTube basically.
Yeah. Well, I got to say, in some ways, I'm a little envious of you, Terry, because there are going to be some shows that you haven't seen yet. You're going to get to watch for the first time somewhere down the road, and because I was kind of the same way. I've got Paramount now because I was watching Big Brother, but I
told my dad about Paramount, but like you said, you need to have like CBS or whatever. It's like that's the thing. My dad can't afford channels, and my dad's almost 80. My mom's like 57, so I'm like. My mom's lucky because she's from my home state, PA, because I'm down here in Georgia.
Okay.
And she has Xfinity, so yeah. So lucky her, she has channels. But
yeah, I didn't watch some of the Challenge because I didn't have Paramount for a while as well. So I certainly relate to it. But well, welcome aboard. I'm glad to have you here as well, and I'm glad YouTube's available and you get to come out here and hang with us on Monday nights. It means a lot to me and everyone else, Terry. So I appreciate it. Hey, I don't know. Oh, gosh, I'm glad I scrolled down because I wanted to ask someone else. Hold on. Brian.
Hello, Cliff.
Brian is another one of my moderators that I didn't even ask you. I think I just kind of threw it at you and hoped that you'd help me out there. But I almost missed you because I didn't realize that my scroll down feature went to another row, and there you were. You probably get a little upset with me.
Nah, we're all good. We're all good.
I'm sure your anger is more placed with Ohio State or with Michigan at least, huh?
Yeah, bitter rivalries there. But 3 straight years, that's going to be a tough one. Another year to listen to all the Michigan fans. But, it was a tough weekend. The Brownies went down, and so did the Michigan Wolverine. Ohio State went down. So,
well, my Aggies got beat and my Texans got beat. So I can certainly relate. But ours wasn't the same kind of rivalry game necessarily. But I was thinking about you, Brian, while I was watching that game. All right, real quick. Tommy Braskett saying, sorry about the way LSU Tigers beat your Texas Aggies. We didn't lose. We just ran out of time. Yeah, it would take a long time to come back from that one. We were looking good there for a while. Maybe we spent too much time. And Lee Strack is saying, congrats on A&M's new coach. The rumor, Brian, for a while was that we were going to get old Ryan Day from Ohio State.
If you guys did, that would have been amazing. He's a great coach. Winnable record, except for in Ohio State, if you can't beat Michigan, they want your head on a swivel there.
Now we're the same way down here beating Texas, so they're getting ready to join our conference, so it'll change. Ma, do you follow football?
I follow the NFL a little bit, not college that much.
So who's your NFL team?
Well, I do have a Carolina Panthers or you can't see it, but I have a Carolina Panthers shirt on, but I was a little embarrassed to be wearing them because they have a 1-10 record.
Yeah, but you guys cut your coach today, so big firings there in Carolina today.
Yep.
Well, no matter how bad Carolina's been, Ma, I guarantee the Houston Texans have been a little bit worse.
That's the only team we've beaten.
Yeah, I know, but that's a thing. You go through those down times, so then when things look good, you really appreciate when things get good. So yeah, it's great. All right, Maryland Southern saying, love seeing everyone's faces. Me as well. I so appreciate it, guys. I'm trying to sit here and think Because a couple of y'all I've met before, but not all of you. And I'm trying to think, do y'all's faces match your voices and what I expected? And I kind of think for the most part they do. I see it. But yeah, I love having y'all out here. This is cool. I'm just glad it's working. I pictured me having to put on headphones for feedback, or I don't know, or having people streaking across the screen and me having to shut it down. Yeah, I should have just had the feedback from the big brother saying, "We'll be right back" with that spinning gold tunnel. But I knew the Cliff Notes Live people. I knew y'all weren't going to do that. Now, if someone that comes across that I don't recognize, we'll have to think about it. But
hey, Cliff, were you ever able to go back and look at your season lot? The replays of the live feeds at all?
I have watched up through about the first third of the season, the kind of the pre-jury part. I think I've gone right up about where the big alliance explodes and all of that happens, which actually should be the most fun part for me to watch. But no, I just haven't, because for a while it was so stressful, kind of emotional to watch it. Even the good things, like when I won that battle back in the HOH, all good times, excitement and all that. But I still just remember every clip I see in there. I can remember exactly what I was thinking and how I was feeling, and it just still brings up a lot of past emotions and everything. Nowadays, I think I could watch it a little bit more removed than when I first got out of the game. And so, yeah, I probably ought to do that. I've kind of been holding off because I've been trying to figure out if there's some way I can watch it live with y'all, or somehow do it where it's recorded. I just don't know how to do that without violating copyrights and all that, and getting in trouble with CBS. But I kind of put it off just in case I could figure something out like that. But yeah, it just still carries a lot of. You're stuck in there for so long, and every little moment it just kind of is burned into my memory. And so, yeah, I one of these days I will, but yeah, I just haven't quite gotten around to it just yet. All right.
So is everybody else on here that do you guys watch the live feeds at all, or are you guys mostly recap and live episodes?
This is my first year watching the live feeds. This is like my first year that I've ever had them.
Did it change your perception of how you viewed these people? Do you think you would have been cheering or booing different people if you hadn't had the feeds?
I mean, I still was before now. I still watched a lot of recaps, and I was still aware of what was going on. But it's kind of weird to see the thing that changed most was now that I've seen the feeds, the show kind of feels weird. It feels weird to watch something on the show because you're watching the edited version of what you already saw, and it just feels surreal. And
it is funny every once in a while you watch it. A part of that, I'm like, oh wow, that was 2 or 3 weeks ago that happened, and they threw it back in the episode later. It's pretty interesting. But
there are times where I watch the episode and I'm not nearly as invested in it because I already know they're going to spend the first 45 minutes showing what you've already seen. I always watch to see how they're going to spin it, what they think is important to show versus the things that they just completely leave out. But I know when I do it, a lot of the episodes, it's really just that last little bit, the HOH that's live, or some of the things, or some of the competitions where you didn't necessarily see what the comp was. You know who won it, but you didn't get to see the actual filming. And so I'll watch it for that. But yeah, it almost makes the episodes a little bit more boring at times when they show it.
I fell asleep before. I fell asleep during the episodes, during the season. I remember one time I fell asleep and I woke up and it was the part where Felicia was pulling out chicken from her rope, and then I fell down. I was like, what the heck was that? And then I went back to sleep. I think I couldn't tell if that was a fever dream or if that was real.
I actually had someone reach out to me and say, Cliff, you have such a soothing voice. Every time I listen to you talking, it just puts me to sleep. I said, well, I'm going to take that in a very positive note, but I could see how you could fall asleep, Bob, with a few of the conversations that take place. All I've got one more person to add. Oh, well, let me do this first. My mom, Sue Hogg, is watching. She said, so excited to see faces with names of people I feel like I know. I'll let y'all know, guys. I think y'all are all kind of adopted kids for my mom because this weekend for Thanksgiving, I was there talking to her, and she's asking me, how's Ma doing? She knows all of y'all's stories because she watches this stuff, and she keeps track of all of y'all guys. And so yeah, it's kind of funny that she's asking me all these questions about each and every one of y'all and wondering what's going on in y'all's lives and all that. So my mom likes seeing some faces attached to it as well. And with that being said, Mom, I got one more I'm going to add in here for you real quick. Oh, all right. Jake, hold on. I'm going to do it here in just a second. It's limiting me because I didn't pay for all of the fancy schmancy StreamYard, I guess. We'll cut a few people out here. That sounds horrible. I'll get to you here in a second, Jake. A little bit of a background with Brian that was funny in terms of Brian and I meeting. I was doing some work up in the West Virginia, Ohio border, had to fly into Columbus, which just happens to be just down the road from Brian. And Brian reached out and said, hey, if you got some little time at the airport, give me a holler. Well, I had a long layover, and so we sat there and had a few drinks and shot the bull. And I heard all about Brian and his audition video. Did you do an audition video for this next season, or I guess it hadn't happened yet?
Yeah, I'm working on one. Just got to find the right mix, man.
I hear you. Lightning in a bottle. Yeah, you never know how that stuff's going to work. But Brian and I got a chance to talk about my experiences, talk about his hopeful experiences once he gets in the house as well. And that's cool. I always enjoy doing that. So, I enjoyed it. All right. Well, Abby Love 12 saying, my favorite part will forever be your dancing, thinking of your wife to George Strait. Yeah, I had to. My wife was my bass while I was in there. She was the one that I spent a lot of time thinking, all right, even if they cut me loose, even if people do horrible things in here, I'm still coming home to my family and my wife and my house and all of that. And it made those days a little more tolerable. So, thank you for that, Abby Love. I appreciate it. And getting to dance with little George Strait music. Because y'all know we don't get music unless we win HOH, and then you request before the season starts your top albums that you maybe would like to have. And so they gave me George Strait, and I was happy. That was a fun week when I was at HOH, getting to do that. So that was a lot of fun, Abby. All right, guys, I tell you what, I'm going to be fair, I'm gonna drop Ma. I'm gonna drop you so I can drag Jake in if that's all right.
No,
Ma, I love you.
I'll drop out.
I love you. Love what you have to say. I love your story.
Keep Ma.
Okay, Terry,
keep living the dream.
Well, Terry, I'll do that, but don't go anywhere, Terry, because I'd like to bring you back in here in a little bit. Is that okay?
Yep. Ma deserves everything. I like her. I thought she was a dude based on her profile, but no. Give her more screen time.
That's it. It's your
first.
dad's
Give
profile, isn't it, Mom?
All the time they need.
No, my dad has a completely other account. That's from a show.
Hey, Terry, I'm gonna pull you off for a minute, but stick around, please, sir, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir, I will.
Brian, is that your house or a backdrop?
It's backdrop.
Okay, because I was gonna say if that's your house, I'm beyond impressed.
No.
All right. Jake, how are you, sir? Wait a minute. I think I need to blow that picture up a little bit because that's not who I remember talking to last.
Is it Jake the horror movie geek?
Yes, sir.
All right, I love the mask.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, Jake and I did a little podcast that he put together, and I enjoyed doing it. Gave me a chance. Those of you who watch, y'all know there's some horror movies I really like, in particular some of the George Romero, Dawn of the Dead, and all that. So Jake got to spend all kinds of time asking me and go into a whole lot more detail than he probably expected from me with some of those movies. So we had a lot of fun, Jake. I appreciate you bringing me in and doing that.
I appreciate you coming on, but I feel bad though for Terry having to
Well,
I feel bad too.
We'll get Terry back. No worries. I'm just gonna rotate y'all around. We got a little more time. I appreciate it. Let me do this if I could. Hold on, let me see. Where, Sandy, are you out there? I was gonna pull you in as well. I thought I saw something.
Cindy.
I got that. I kind of got a smile on my face just seeing all y'all guys. It's pretty fun. So let me ask all y'all this. I mean, CBS has the main reality shows. Are there other reality shows that y'all are into? The dating ones, the cooking ones. Reality TV is a big old world, y'all.
It's really just Big Brother, Survivor, and Amazing Race for me.
Yeah.
I hear that.
So this weekend I went up to Siesta Key on Saturday. I had some friends in Florida there that we were visiting, and we went on the beach. And my wife says, "See that house right there? That's where they filmed Siesta Key." I'm like, "What's that?" She goes, "It's a reality show." I'm like, "I didn't even know there was a reality show called Siesta Key." Go figure.
I've heard of it. I've never seen it. All right, little story for it. Do y'all remember before Big Brother, there was a show on MTV called The Real World, which I know is a little beyond some of y'all, but it came out a long time ago. But The Real World, I started watching that. I feel like I was in college still, so it was a long time ago. But they had The Real World, which was kind of groundbreaking. You didn't vote people out. They just filmed half a dozen college-age people living and working and hanging out together, and everyone's arguing half the time and all that. But I remember there was one season they filmed in New Orleans, and I had to go over to New Orleans to do some work. And I think this was before the internet, so I didn't really even know for certain where this house was. I knew a general area. I drove back and forth on the streets of New Orleans until I found the Real World house. And I stopped and I took pictures, not with a digital camera, with an old-fashioned film camera. Took pictures of the Real World house, and I remember going back and showing my wife and saying, "Look, this is where they filmed The Real World. How cool is that?" And who would have thought 30 years later that I'd be in my own version of a house like that, doing my own thing as well. You just never know how life's going to treat you, where things are going to go. Yeah, that was my original, was watching The Real World. I don't watch, y'all are all talking about the mainly Big Brother, Survivor, Amazing Race. Those are the ones I watch as well. I used to watch a little bit of the dating shows, not so much now because I just don't have enough time in the day. And I still watch some of the cooking ones, like Hell's Kitchen. Every time I say, I'm going to stop watching this, I still watch it a little bit. So we'll do that. Here's a little secret for y'all. When I was in sequester, getting ready to go in the house, they have one day where we do press and all that. Well, while we were doing the press on the CBS lot, we also had to go by their costuming department and get measured. They measured every possible measure: head, feet, length of your legs, arms, everything. So all those costumes we wore during the show, they had them all ready for us when they needed them. But the guy that was doing all the measurements was also the costumer for Hell's Kitchen, which I guess means he does the chef's jackets, I don't know, whatever they do on Hell's Kitchen. But I remember talking to him about that show and Gordon Ramsay, and he talked about how incredibly nice Gordon Ramsay was. He said, "Yeah, all that yelling, it's just an act." That he called me and had me in for tea, and was just the sweetest, nicest guy when they weren't filming the show itself. So now every time I watch Gordon Ramsay yelling at you donkey and all that, I know it's just him doing it for TV. So
yeah, he does it for TV, Cliff, but he also does it because he sees the potential, because a lot of them are already executive chefs and stuff like that too. So the expectations he has, because they're taking that position, he feels he can be harder on them. And of course, like you said, it's good TV.
I can see that.
He's also really nice on MasterChef Junior. Like, I see him like hugging the kids when they get eliminated. It's so cute.
I can't watch MasterChef Junior because it makes me feel so completely inadequate. I
haven't watched it in years, but like I do remember those little tidbits of fun scene.
I was in that house. I was able to fix bologna and cheese sandwiches and macaroni and cheese. Of course, there were people in that house that did not know how to fix macaroni and cheese. So I was a step up above some people. But I watch these kids on MasterChef Junior, and it blows me away the capability, some of what they are capable of. It's absolutely amazing. Cindy, I see super chat sticker. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I want to hear some stories from you. Cindy actually interviewed Julie Chen.
Yeah, we need to hear that story.
We need to hear some scoop on that. And if you're not ready to do it tonight, Cindy, we're gonna have to set up another night and do this again, because there's some questions that I think you asked that I want to hear a little bit about. You got a story to tell, my friend. All right, Keith Franklin.
Cliff, it's possible she talked to Julie more duration period than you ever did.
That's true.
Julie was nice. I will say that, but she was also very quick with her conversations. When I got booted, I went in and she said, "Cliff, what happened?" or something. And I had my little exit interview. While we cut to commercial, she leaned over. She said, "Cliff, you were doing so good." I said, "Yeah, I know." Kind of just right there at the end, kind of fell apart. I needed to win a competition, but really, I didn't get a chance to talk to her that much that evening. When the show was over and they had the confetti and Jackson Mickey won and all that, after they cut, then I got to talk to her a little bit more. And of course, me being the fan that I am, immediately said, "Are they going to have a Celebrity Big Brother? Is it Celebrity Big Brother?" She said, "Nah, Cliff, we're going to wait for the Olympics. We're going to probably do it next year instead." So I got to talk to her just a little bit. But yeah, I think Cindy's probably had much more detailed conversations with Julie than I ever did. Of course, I didn't want to talk to Julie. The last thing I wanted to do was go outside and sit there in that chair. And it was so weird when I got booted, because you're stuck in that house, and especially because I was in there for so long. So there for those last few weeks, it was just 3 other people, 4 other people. And suddenly that door opens up and you walk out there. And of course, Julie's standing there waiting for you. But I didn't even notice Julie. I was noticing the 20 or 30 people that were all sitting in all the chairs that were all looking at me as I walked out, and just saying, "Oh my God, fresh faces, people that I don't recognize. I don't know their names. I haven't heard the same stories from them 50 times in a row." It was so nice to see new people. But the other thing too, is I walked out there, I was looking at all those people. I said, "God, I hope they don't boo me. I hope they cheer or something. If they boo me, I'm just going to fall on the floor right here and just give up everything." But they didn't, and I was very grateful for it. But yeah, it was. I felt sorry for the people during the COVID years that don't have live studio audiences, because it really did mean a lot when I did that and I got to see everyone when I walked out, and felt like I was kind of getting back to the real world just a little bit. All right, Taylor Mangus is saying, "Any advice for filling out the Big Brother contestant application?" Well, Brian, you filled out a few of those. Do you have any tips that you've hit on, and then I'll follow up as well?
It comes down to the video, being yourself, and can you be entertaining?
Yeah,
a lot of people are starstruck or might be hesitant in how they put their video together, or it might look choppy. But the best advice that I've seen is become comfortable in front of a microphone and a camera, and just sit there and just talk. Just have a conversation. Like I think Jesse says it, Tannenbaum says it best. Like you're having a conversation with your best friend. Just sit there and go along. Cliff, like you said, you could talk to the wall all day long, and you can have a story. And the way you put your stories together are quite fascinating. And I can recall when we were sitting together having our conversation at the airport there, you would we'd go off on certain tangents, but you would always bring the conversation back to right where we were talking on point. And that's a skill set there, right? Being able to carry a conversation, be able to engage people. That's what they're looking for is, hey, can you sit there and entertain and be talkative?
I think you're spot on with it. Before I talk about any of that, have y'all all tried out, or would y'all be interested in trying out for Big Brother? And Amal, you're not quite there yet.
I'm still years away, but I don't think I'd apply anyways. My anxiety could never.
I could see that. I absolutely could see that. How about the rest of y'all? Why would you do it?
You know, I've thought about it, but I don't know yet.
Yeah, and Zach, you're nodding your head no, perhaps not.
Absolutely not, because there's no privacy. For me, you're in such an age now where every single thing you do is scrutinized and you get vilified for any mistake you make. And I have a good handle on myself, but nobody's perfect. And I don't want to be, I don't want to be, I don't want to have an edit or something where I make one small mistake and I'm the victim of whatever narrative they put at me. I want to have that control over myself.
I will say,
yeah, Cliff, what were some of your fears going in there?
What was that? And then I'll
sorry, no. I was just gonna say that, like, if it were like 15 years ago, I probably would have applied. But like back to like what Zach was saying, like the media coverage, they like there are people that like stalk your families on like Twitter and stuff. Jared's family got like absolutely. Jared's girlfriend got stalked online. Like I could not do it with like all the media coverage. Maybe like 15 years ago, but definitely not now.
There are people very passionate about that show and some cheer for you, some cheer against you, some cheer against you just because you booted out someone that was their favorite. And sometimes there's people that just feel like you slighted them by, Zach, as you said, one little off the cuff remark that gets taken the wrong way. It doesn't take too much. Jake, you said thumbs up. You'd do it if you got a chance.
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
That's good. I gotta say, I didn't try out thinking I was going to get on the show. I just did it because they were having an open casting call here in Houston. And I just wanted to see what kind of knuckleheads tried out for a show like Big Brother. I was just showing up to kind of have a little bit of a laugh at the people that thought they were going to get on that show. And while we sat there in the car across the street, saw all the people in line, finally I told Sharon, I said, well, let's go get in line and talk to them and just see what's going on. Why not do that as opposed to just sit here in the car? So we were the very last people in line. I think there were 2 or 3 people behind us before they shut the line down. And after a while, I think it was my daughter that called and said, what are y'all doing? Why are you trying out for that show? You are not going to get on that show. I said, watch this. I'm going to stay in line just to prove you wrong. But I think getting back to the question about what they're looking for in application, I think you also have to treat it as this. It's not all about getting on the show. I mean, we all want that, right? In a lot of ways, but it's about the journey. It's about everything that takes place before you potentially get on that show. I remember sitting there thinking, all right, well, I'm in line. There's no way they're going to take this old cowboy guy for the show. But I'm going to have quite the story to tell about how I stood in line for 3.5 hours just to try out for a TV show. And my thinking didn't really go beyond that. And so I think when I talked to producers, I was very laid back because I was just having fun. That's all I was doing, was just having fun trying out for the show. And every time I would get a little call and they'd say, oh, Cliff, you're still in it. We're still looking at other people, but you're still in the running. Every time I expected the phone call to say, well, Cliff, it's been great, but we're looking a different way. And so I was prepared for that, but I was having fun because throughout the audition process, you think you're done, but you're not. You're continually getting calls saying, could you send us some more pictures or could you fill out another little questionnaire? And I've just enjoyed the entire from start to finish of doing that. And I think that showed. As far as the talking, as Brian kind of pointed out, they're looking for someone who can carry a conversation. At the end of the day, you've got to be able to do that. And then after that, just make sure you stand out from everyone else. So sit down and figure out whatever it is that you think makes you a little bit special, a little bit different from other people. It could be because you're quirky. It's because you got a huge loud mouth or you've got a lot of experiences. They're looking for all kinds of variety. So whatever it is that makes you different from the 4,000 other people in line, don't make things up. Just figure out what that is. And then just emphasize that a little bit more in the way that you talk to the producers. And just make sure they understand. For me, I said, if I'm in the house 99 days, I got 100 stories to tell. I'm a storyteller. I've been all over the world. I've done a lot of things. And that was kind of my shtick. And everyone's got one. You just have to figure out what makes you a little bit different, a little bit unique, and then just kind of focus on that. All right. Urban Hermit is saying there are millions of applicants. Why recruit anyone? Yeah, I'm always a fan of the super fans that are in the game. But having said that, I think the game is a little bit more, Big Brother's a little more exciting when you have some people that think they know the game very well and other people who maybe don't really know the game that well at all. And they're a little less predictable. Things can happen a little bit differently. Think about my season. Kat Dunn was recruited. She's certainly made for the season because she was so off the wall lots of times. David Alexander was recruited. And now he's come back and gotten to do a few different shows and all of that. So sometimes the people who don't know as much can still make some pretty interesting TV. So as much as I really respect the super fans, and I know during my season, Tommy and Christy, I wanted to work with them so bad because I knew they were other passionate fans. They didn't want to work with me, but I wanted to work with them just for that reason alone. But I think it would almost be more boring if everyone in there had that same level of knowledge and, back in this season, they did this and that. I think it's nice to have some fresh people that aren't big fans of the game. You need the mix. You need the villains. You need the heroes. You need a little bit of everything to make those seasons exciting. So just my own personal thought on that one. All right, let's see. 7:52. Hey, Jake, I'm going to, just because I can barely see your picture on there, I'm going to cut you loose if you don't mind, sir, and bring Terry back, because I hate to leave him hanging the whole time.
No problem.
I mean, I know, Jake, I'm sorry. Wyatt. But Wyatt, do me a favor before I move over to Terry. Keep me in the loop in terms of what's going on up in the Fort Worth area for the country music. So I want to come hang with you one of these days, and I got family up there, so I think someday we need to arrange something. I'd love to do it.
Hey, that sounds good with me, Cliff. Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, I'm going to pull you off here for a second, so I'm bring Terry back in. But, this is fun. I appreciate it, White.
Yes, sir.
All right. Hold on a second.
Hey, Mr.
There
Cliff. I hate to interrupt. I just have to leave for just a few seconds. So just to let you know, give you a heads up. I'll be right back.
No worries. You know me. We'll talk. We'll carry it on. But I did say I was going to bring you back.
I'll enjoy. I'll have a blast with it. I'll be right back, and I'll tell you when I'm ready.
Sounds good. All right. So now Zach and Ma, y'all both. I know Jake and Brian will try it for Big Brother. Y'all are the two that said you wouldn't. Would there be other reality shows that y'all be more considerate of doing, a Survivor or an Amazing Race, where they don't have those live feeds?
I feel like Amazing Race. I'm watching, and I was watching last episode when they went to Slovenia. Oh wow! I never knew Slovenia was that great of a country. Like I just want to travel.
I hear that. The world is your oyster, Ma. You're perfect. You're in school. You're going to finish up school before you know it, and then, man, go conquer the world. It's there are some cool spots there. I've never been to Slovenia, and I got to say, I was incredibly impressed. That is a beautiful, beautiful area. Unfortunately, too much oil and gas is in areas that aren't quite that beautiful, and that's where I always got sent to all while I was traveling the world doing my stuff. But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool as well. Let's see. Keith Franken's saying, Keith, sorry I missed that. Or Keith saying Grandpa isn't doing well. Prayers to you, Keith. Prayers to him. I know that's tough to have family and friends not doing well. I'd be thinking about you, my friend, and just realize that there's some things you can control, some things you can't. Be there for them. Be there as a support, and I'm thinking about you, Keith. I feel for you, sir. All right, let's see. Cindy Hart saying Julie and I talked about having a golden Big Brother. I know, Cindy. I heard that. That's why I want to hear what Julie had to say in response to it. They had Golden Bachelor, right? I haven't watched Golden Bachelor, but I did see a little clip when it first started. What was it, football game or something on right after or before? But they start off with him putting in his hearing aid. And I guess that's just their way to emphasize that he truly is the Golden Bachelor. I want to say, I don't wear hearing aids or anything. I'm not to that level yet. Man, put me on Big Brother again with put me in with Felicia and Donnie, although Donnie's not really he's not really old. He's just old by our Big Brother standards, I guess. But I'm thinking of all the older players who've played season in, season out. We could have a lot of fun playing that game together. I'm up for it. So
yeah. Did you do you follow Jerry on any of the social medias? He just posted some pictures this last weekend.
Really?
Social media?
Yeah. Very rarely does he ever post, but there are pictures. I thought his wife had passed away, but it looked like it was his wife. Maybe they were older pictures, but he had posted some over the weekend, I thought.
Oh, I need to look that up. I don't know that follow him because I didn't know that he really had much in the way of social media. I know he was one of my favorites when he was on the show just because of his age and being in the Marines and just no nonsense Jerry and all that. And when I got out, he used to live north and west of Houston just a little bit. And I really would have loved to have gone up and met him. But everything I had heard was that he had kind of pulled away from reality TV and just didn't really want to be involved with it anymore. And yeah, certainly I'll respect anyone who, their privacy and not push it or anything else. But yeah, I'd love to meet him. Dan Giesling still keeps up with him. I thought he had said that he was still working at a Home Depot or something, still staying active doing something.
Yeah, that's what Dan had posted. Yeah.
Maybe that's just him pulling our legs or something. I don't know, but no, I hadn't heard that. I've got to look it up, Brian. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember which media site he was on that he posted. Maybe it was Instagram. I'm not sure if I'm following him there.
I'll do some search. Oh, he and Rennie from that season were so hilarious.
Back and forth, yeah.
That would be inappropriate. she was a lot.
There's a lot of great lines. That was a great episode, and that's really where Dan came to life.
When was it? Episode I think, or season 8 was the first one I watched with Evil Dick, and then I don't remember 9 that much, but then I remember 10 with Jerry and Rennie and Dan. Oh, it's such a there were some good seasons back then. All right, Ken T is saying, I've seen pics of the Canada Big Brother house. It's more elaborate than Big Brother USA. Well, that's not that hard to do, Ken. I got to say, when I got in that house, I was a little taken aback, just a little disappointed, maybe isn't the right word, but a little surprised that everything wasn't quite as nice as I expected it to be. The stuff that's in front of the cameras looks good, but the floor there was the cheapest, thinnest linoleum roll-on stuff that you could ever imagine. The screens, the memory board with all our pictures on it. If you look behind, there were just wires that were duct taped on everywhere, and there was just everywhere the cameras couldn't see. You'd say, God, they didn't even bother. They just did the lowest possible budget to get any of this stuff done. So. Who is it? The Hamster Watch does the goof tallies. I'm not sure if you catch that. They're always posting different goof tallies, whether they put a bad graphic up or have somebody's name misspelt. Yeah. But I think they did that with me. I remember my goof tally for one. One was they put one of the pictures I got in my HOH basket of my family, and I think they had my dad and my mom mislabeled like Steve and Phyllis or something. Some names that were not my parents, and then I think there was something. The time for my kayak deal went back. There was something else. I remember a few goofs that involved me as well. So Urban Herbert saying it's inappropriate. I can never see that Urban without saying it in Rennie's voice and thinking about it. And then Misfire talking about Jerry falling in the pool still cracks me out. He fell in the pool, and then we had Felicia this season who fell in the hot tub as well. I gotta say, Felicia, at the very beginning, she irritated me a little bit talking to Big Brother. Mr. B, can I have this? Can I have that? I thought, man, how forward of you just to be asking that. I would have never done that. But as she went on through the season, she became so endearing. She played her own game, and she lived her life in that Big Brother house differently than anyone else has done it for a while. I kind of really enjoyed watching Felicia there at the end. She always gave me a chuckle every time she was on the screen. Ma, you're talking about. She grew on you real close. Yeah, she did. She grew on me. I'm looking forward to meeting her at one of these events here before too long as well. She was. I gotta say, I know some people have complained about this season a little bit. Cast wise, I liked all the cast, even the ones that you kind of cheer against a little bit. I thought casting did a good job of getting a wide variety of people this season. It was very interesting, and I didn't know how they were going to all play together. Sometimes they played better together than at other times, but I thought they did a good job with it. Now,
I mean, yeah, you had the power twist there where it was the group between the groups. So there was that power change that ended up twisting it, but never twisted back, and that's how Matt and those guys stayed in control, and that's what makes it tough as a viewer. It's like, all right, we want to see the twists and turns, right?
You're right. That's a good way to put it. Maybe it was a little bit more, instead of a pendulum going back and forth, it was more a wave where you would see this power surge, but then it just kind of, some powerful person goes home, but then you still have the same people playing the game every time. And it's, I like before my season 20 with Falte and level 6, you had a little bit back and forth and all of that.
Yeah, that was a great season, I thought, because especially the Tyler playing the middle and the blindsiding on the voting, that was really entertaining there.
Yeah, I was so disappointed. We got shut down. I know we're getting past it. I was so disappointed when I got into Sequester and they didn't have old seasons for me to watch while I'm sitting there locked away in a Sequester room forever. I really had thought, I'm going to study this stuff 24 hours a day. And instead, they didn't have any of it. So I just had to rely on my memory and what I remembered from watching the seasons and all that. So I don't know. Maybe just as well. If they had seasons, maybe they were afraid that everyone would just watch the same season and try to replicate it instead of doing what we just naturally did. But I like season 20. I couldn't believe that I was actually in California. I told y'all I drove by the Real World house and took pictures. I drove by the CBS studio lot and took pictures from across the little concrete river they have there of the Big Brother soundstage, and was so excited that I was doing that while they were inside the house, not realizing that just a year later, they would let me into that lot and actually let me into that house and play the game and everything else.
Maybe that was your good luck charm.
What's that?
Maybe that was your good luck charm.
Maybe they just saw me across the river and said, "God, that guy looks pretty desperate. We need to get him on here." All right, guys.
Hey, Zach, I got a question for Zach. Hey, Zach, how can we follow you online and stuff?
Sure. At Zachary M. Weiss, Weiss, on Instagram and on Twitter. The Instagram's more fun, though. Cliff can attest to that.
Yeah, you always have fun. Jake, Ma, do y'all have anything y'all want to promote? Tags or social media or
my Discord server? No, I don't have a server. I have a Discord account. Y'all want to add me on Discord?
Sure, post it out there or tell us.
It's ma_meow.
Why does that not surprise me?
My online name.
Jake, how about yourself, sir?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm changing my name to Kitty Purr. No. Yeah, follow me on YouTube, Jake the Horror Movie Geek. I'm gonna try and put out content, but I'm still trying to find my footing.
Yeah. It takes a while. One of these days, I'm gonna put out my very first Cliff Notes live when I did TV Co. with the old maroon curtain behind me, no green screen or anything, and we'll talk about a few episodes to get your footing, Jake, because it definitely does take a little while. All right, guys, we're gonna shut it down because I'm already past it. This is so cool. Ma, thank you. Zachary, thank you. Brian, Jake, Wyatt. I don't know where Wyatt went. I didn't mean for you to go completely, Wyatt, but thank you as well. And Terry also. Cindy, I want to get you on here because I want to hear your stories. And for the rest of y'all who maybe didn't come on tonight, this worked better than I thought it would technically. So we may need to do this again. This is kind of cool. I appreciate y'all guys taking some time and letting me see y'all's bright and shiny faces.
Cliff, we love watching you every Monday. We love hearing your stories, and especially, you don't talk about your wife helping you out a lot.
Yeah. Oh,
she's in the background there helping you, and she should, give her a lot of credit for doing that.
Well, I appreciate that, and she's heard it, but I'm gonna pass it on as well. I'd love to get her on here, but she'd rather see y'all guys, and so thank you for that.
She's probably going, no.
Me willing to go out doing it. There's nothing you can do to embarrass me. Put me on a show and let me shower, walk around in my underwear in front of 10 million people. I don't care. Sharon's a little bit different. She values her privacy a little bit more than I do, but we make a good duo. I just leave it at that. Guys, thank y'all so much. This is cool. We're gonna do it again. But thank y'all for the time, and for all of those, as I said, who didn't actually come out here. Your time's coming. We're gonna make it happen here before too long. So, with that, I'll just leave y'all on there as we shut this thing down.
Oh,
y'all have a great one.
Great seeing everybody.
I guess
You
I will.
too. Thanks, Cliff.
No, my pleasure. For those of you who haven't subscribed yet because you're tired of looking at my face, now you got other faces to look at. So maybe this is the incentive that you need to subscribe to the channel, and please consider doing so. And if you do, then we'll bring some of these folks back on, because this has been a lot of fun. And I'll finish up at the very end. A big old SKD 143. Love my wife, love my kids, love y'all guys. Y'all are the reason I do this. This is, as much as I can talk to a wall, it's not nearly as exciting as when I get y'all's input. So I thank y'all for everything that y'all do as well. Y'all have a good one, guys. Enjoy your Monday, and I will be back next Monday. And instead, man, talk too much. I'll be back next Monday. Until then, y'all have a great one. Cheers, guys. Thank y'all so much.